Hello YouTube, this is Kibo-chan, and finally getting around to starting a YouTube channel. I've been wanting to do this for a couple months now, and finally thought of something to talk about. I'm going to be talking about a lot of different things on this channel. It's going to be kind of like a variety show, pretty much just whatever I feel like talking about. I originally wanted it to be mostly about psychology and the Myers-Briggs type indicator. I'm still going to be doing a lot about that, and hopefully I'll be able to interview a lot of my friends, people that I know about their personality types. But I'm also going to be doing a lot of other things. I'm a complete bibliophile. Wow, I just messed up that word. And going to be actually starting college in like a week and a half, and I'm going to be majoring in English, so I'm probably going to be doing book reviews and literary analysis and that kind of stuff on this channel, and just pretty much any kind of topics that I find interesting. So I thought I would start off with something that is very near and dear to my heart, and something that is often misunderstood, and something that I feel very passionate about, which is perfect pitch, which I have, and it's something that is kind of generally revered in especially the music community, but there's a lot of mysticism around it, and it's kind of viewed as a superpower, and it's like the holy grail of music ability, and I'm kind of wanting to demystify it a little bit so people will not view it as such a superpower, and it's because it's really not. It's got its benefits, but it also is kind of a curse sometimes. And I've been trying to find some good videos on YouTube about it, but mostly it's just been like child prodigies showing off how awesome they are with some really awesome tests, and those are pretty fun to watch because like the parent will play the note and then the kid will try to guess it, and then I'll like pause the video and try to guess it before the kid guesses it and see if I get it right. But so far I might have seen one video like this, but I haven't seen many videos where you get a human perspective on perfect pitch, someone just sitting down and talking about what is perfect pitch, their experience with perfect pitch, how it's affected their life and their musical experience, and kind of debunking it in a way, and making it seem a little bit less of the holy grail of music that a lot of people have made it out to be. So first of all, I've got to define what perfect pitch is and isn't. Perfect pitch, or absolute pitch as the term really should be called. I think people just slap the term perfect on there to make it seem a little bit more magical and amazing and make themselves feel a little bit more special for having it. But it does not mean that someone who has perfect pitch never sings flat or sharp. This is a common misconception. It also does not mean that that person is a musical prodigy or genius who can pick up a new instrument and learn it in like 5 seconds and be a master at everything they do musically. It also does not necessarily mean that the person you can tell the person sing a C sharp and they can do it. Or you can play a note for the person and say, what note is that? And the person can tell you. It doesn't necessarily mean that. And it also doesn't necessarily mean that you can play a piece of music for the person and ask them what key is it in, because that entails a certain knowledge of music theory that the person may not have been exposed to previously, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later in my personal experience. So what perfect pitch or absolute pitch is basically, it's an abnormal, I say abnormal because most people have relative pitch, which I'll get into a little bit later down the road after I get done with perfect pitch, an abnormal musical memory in which instead of assigning pitch's relative value, where someone with relative pitch will, when they hear music in their heads or when they're singing a song, they memorize the pitches in a relative way. So they'll pick a random starting note, and the pitches that they choose from there will be in the correct intervals as they were in the original song. but they won't necessarily be the absolute pitches that they were in the original song, whereas someone with absolute pitch will always sing the exact notes that were in the original song. So someone with absolute pitch just hears music and reproduces music in an absolute way, whereas someone with relative pitch does it in a relative way. So this doesn't necessarily mean that someone with perfect pitch will know what a G sounds like, because if they have never been exposed to, if you've never played a G for them and told them this is a G, how are they going to know what a G sounds like? They may have heard the note G over and over, but they may have never ascribed the name G to it. So this is my problem for a lot of things, because I am a singer and I'm not necessarily an instrumentalist, so I always grew up doing things by ear, and I never really had to know what the note names were. I always just did everything by ear. So whenever I sang a song, I never had to know this is an A, that's a B, and that kind of thing. I was just saying whatever it was, so I never had to know. So I only learned later in life what some of the notes were, and still to this day, pretty much the only notes that I know right off the bat are C, D, A, sometimes F, and sometimes B flat. Other than that, I have to use relative pitch going off one of those other notes to find another note if I need it. Other than that, I use my absolute pitch. I always sing songs in the original key that I heard them in, because otherwise it just sounds completely terrible. I've written essays about this for school and for speech class and that kind of thing, but I compare it to, like, if you're in the car with somebody who is completely tone deaf and you hear a song come on the radio, and in one ear you're hearing the song on the radio and in another ear you're hearing the person who's tone deaf singing the song, and the two don't match up at all, that's really annoying, right? Well, for someone with perfect pitch, in their head, they're hearing the original song, because our minds are like iPods or tuners or something, so we can hear the original song in its complete clarity, like it originally is. It's really hard to explain, unless you have perfect pitch, what that sounds like. And then in the other ear, we're hearing someone sing it in a different key, and those two are completely clashing, and it sounds disgusting. It really does. And so this is why people with perfect pitch just completely flip out when we hear songs being sung in a different key. So this is getting kind of long, and let's see, what else can I say? Yeah, so I'm not a musical genius at all. I can play guitar a little bit. I'm not very good at it. And I used to play piano. I was never very good at it either, because I just didn't put the effort in. So having perfect pitch does not make you a musical genius. It's really more effort that counts in that area. I can give you names of so many people who are way better at music than I am, who have relative pitch. So really, it's really all down to hard work, and really relative or absolute pitch is not an excuse for your musical abilities. It really comes down to knowledge of music theory, because especially if I had been exposed to music theory at a younger age, I would understand a lot more about music than I do now. I really don't understand a lot about music, other than the fact that I hear it in an absolute way where most people don't. And I'm going to stop this for a second, and might possibly extend it if I think of anything else. But if I don't, I will see you guys later.